Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Sun Devil Learning Labs. This is kindergarten math. My name is Miss Kopp, that's Kopp, that's me, and today is week 5, day 2 of the Sun Devil Learning Lab kindergarten math program. So if you've been watching our other episodes, thank you so much for coming back, joining us again. If this is your first time, thanks for coming. We're happy to have you, and you'll definitely get the hang of it very quickly. We follow the same pattern and the same routine every day, so it'll be easy to jump into. So today we're working on our math foundations. That means those skills that we really need to work on in kindergarten to become really great at doing math later, at adding and subtracting. So right now we're just going to work on those foundation skills, what we're going to work on in kindergarten. So like I said, my name is Miss Kopp, Kopp, that's me, and today is week 5, day 2 of this program. So now I have for us our agenda. If you want to take a little sneak peek at what we're doing today, some number work, working on our grip. We'll do a little read aloud and then a game that goes along with our animal read aloud as well. So this week has been, this week has been an animal themed week. We're going to keep on going with that, and our story is about animals today, and so is our game. So we're excited for that, and we've got some practice to do at home for you as well. Then the materials over here on the right side of the screen. The materials, you will only need these materials if you want to practice writing our number of the day, which today our number of the day is the number 2. So these materials you will only need if you want to practice your writing. I'll have instructions for what to do when we get to it. This next slide is just our standards. That means, what do the people in charge think that us as kindergarten teachers and kindergartners, what do you need to know? So this is what we're working on today, and the skills that you guys will have when we're done with this little lesson, with this video. So as always, we start with our number line. Our number line, that is what is down here in this pink box with these yellow numbers. That's our number line. So our number line, just like when we're reading a book, our number line, we read left to right. So we have our arrow up here at the top of the screen to remind us we read from left to right. So our smallest number, 0, is over here on the left. Excuse me. And our biggest number, 10, is over here on the right. So every day we read our number line from left to right. Go ahead and say it out loud with me if you know your numbers and you can read our number line. If you don't know it yet, you will get it very soon. So just keep on going with us and say what you can. Or you can rewind the video a few times and watch it to get some more practice that way. So starting at 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is our number line, 0 to 10. So now we're going to talk about our number of the day, the number 2. Number 2. So our number of the day, we are going to practice writing it. If you have those materials, something to write with, like a crayon or a marker, a piece of paper or something to write on, maybe it's a piece of cardboard from the recycling, whatever you have available to you. Now is the time to take that stuff out. I like to hang up my paper while I write. I like to hang my paper vertically while I write. So I have a little piece of tape, and I am going to hang my paper on my board behind me. So I'm going to take just a very little piece of tape, and I am going to hang up my piece of paper to write on. So we're going to practice writing the number 2. To practice writing, we need to talk about how do we hold what we write with, right? How do we hold what we're going to use? Maybe it's a crayon, maybe it's a marker. For me, I use these colored pens I have at home. So we are going to talk about our tripod grip. We talked about this yesterday in week 5, day 1, and we're going to keep talking about this every day because it is so important to know how to hold on to what we're writing with and what we're drawing with. So to warm up our hands a little bit, warm up our fingers and our hand muscles, we are going to do this cool little activity. I try to do it every day. First, we need to touch the tip of our fingers to our thumb, one at a time. So we start with our pointer finger, touch it to our thumb. Then your middle finger, touch it to your thumb. Then your ring finger, touch it to your thumb. Your pinky finger, touch it to your thumb. So you can do that over and over and over again. You can try to do it as fast as you can. You can try to go backwards and start at your pinky instead. That is up to you. Maybe you want to do it with both hands and give both your hands a good workout, a good finger workout. So this gets our hand muscles ready for writing and ready for drawing. So today we are going to be writing the number 2. So I have some instructions for us on my screen here of how to write the number 2. So, oh, I forgot, we did our warm-up, hello, but we didn't talk about how to hold what we're going to write with. We warmed our fingers up. Now that our fingers are warmed up, let's talk about how to hold our pens or our markers or crayons. So to hold what you're going to write with, take your pointer finger and your thumb, and we're going to pinch. We're going to pinch the bottom end of whatever you're writing with. So for me, it's my marker. I'm going to pinch the end of my marker. You can see what that looks like, pinching it. And then the last thing you need to do is take your middle finger and just let it rest right on top. Let your marker rest right on top of your middle finger. So when you're done, you only have 3 fingers touching what you're writing with. So 1, 2, 3. 3 fingers touching what I'm writing with. So that's how I'm going to be holding my pen while I'm writing the number 2. So now we know how to hold our pens or our pencils or our crayons or our markers. Now we're going to talk about how to actually draw the number 2. So I have another little rhyme for us. We have a rhyme for every number to try to remember how to draw it. So for 2, it's around and back on the railroad track. 2, 2, 2, 2. So that's to try to help you remember the shape of it. So we go around and back on the railroad track. So try to imagine like this is a little railroad track. And you can hear it going choo, 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 choo. And hopefully that helps you remember the shape of this 2. So the first step of writing a 2 is this big curve right here. It's like a big half circle or half heart even. So to start with our 2, you start at the top and you make a circle, half circle, right? That's half of it. Then you just go straight across. Oh, you can barely see that. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this marker would be dark enough. You could see it on my screen. Now you can. So you start over like you're making a circle and you go around and back. And that is our 2. Around and back. Like a railroad track. Doo, doo. So that is our number 2. That's how to write our number 2. If you would like to pause the video here, you can take a little more time to practice writing. I would pause it on the screen so you can see the instructions of how to draw the shape. So go ahead, like I said, feel free to pause it here to get some more practice with writing the number 2. Now we're going to talk about different ways to see the number 2. So right here in the middle, we have our number 2 like we usually see it. Over here in this top left corner, like we talked about yesterday, this is called a tens chart. These little white boxes right here, it's called a tens chart. That's because there's 10 of these white boxes and we fill them in to show what number we're talking about. So we filled it in with 2 circles because we're talking about the number 2. So here's 1, 2. So this is what the number 2 would look like on a tens chart. Over here on the right, on the top right, this is what the number 2 looks like with letters, when it's written with letters. So the word, the name 2, this is how you spell it. T-W-O, 2. Down here on the left side, this is what two tally marks look like. Tally marks, we use them when we're trying to keep track of something that's usually happening pretty fast. So you just make a little jot, a little line to show how many things you're talking about. So here we just made two tally marks to show we're talking about two things, two. And then over here on the bottom right side, we have a picture of two, go ahead and say the name of the animal out loud if you know it, two giraffes. It's two giraffes. So I know the rest of their body is cut off. I didn't have that much room for the picture. This is just their heads, but this is two whole giraffes here. Two. So two, that's our number of the day. Today, we'll keep talking about a different number every single day, and we'll review the numbers that we go over as well. So it's okay if you don't know this all right now. We're going to keep on practicing it. So now it's time for our read aloud. I'm going to have a sip of water to warm up. Read alouds make my throat really dry when I'm reading these stories. So today the story that we are reading is called Look Alike Animals. Look Alike Animals. Here's the cover of our story. Excuse me. Look Alike Animals. And it's written by, our author is Robin Bernard. So let's see what kind of look-alike animals we're going to see. Look Alike Animals by Robin Bernard. Some look-alike animals can fool you. To tell them apart, you have to look closely. Look at the spots. Cheetahs have small dots shaped like tiny eggs. You can see them on their coats here, tiny little eggs on their coat. Leopard spots are in bunches that look like flowers. So over here on the leopard, you can see it's got like their little flower patterns all over that leopard. So they're different, right? These spots are just black little eggs, and these spots are sort of like black and brown flowers. Look at their snouts. Alligators have wide, round snouts. Crocodiles have narrow, pointed snouts. So just like in this picture, you can see he's got a pretty big, a snout is like an animal's nose. So he's got a pretty big nose area up here. When you look at this guy, he's got a much smaller, very skinny, very narrow, and it's pointed, right? So their nose, their snouts look very different. That's how we can tell them apart if we look closely at their snouts. Look at their legs. Hares have long legs. Rabbits have shorter legs and rounder bodies. So hares, you see he has much longer front legs. He's sitting up a lot taller off the ground than this little rabbit is. This rabbit's really close to the ground because he has short little legs that can't get him very far. But this hare has long legs, and the rabbit has a rounder body than this hare does, a rounder body. Look at their skin. Frogs have smooth skin. Toads have bumpy skin. So in this picture, in this illustration, you can see this frog has very smooth skin. So smooth it's even like shiny, it's glistening. Toads over here on the right, they have very bumpy skin. If you ran your fingers across that, you would feel a lot of bumps and a lot of different stuff. It wouldn't feel smooth, right? They have lumpy, bumpy skin. Look at their ears. Seals have little holes for ears. Sea lions have ear flaps over their ear holes. So these animals look very, very similar, but the way to tell them apart is that seals just have a hole for an ear. They don't have anything covering their ear. They don't have anything covering that hole. They just have the hole. But sea lions, they have a little ear flap, like our ear flaps, that covers their ear hole. So that's how we tell those two apart, a seal versus sea lion. Look at their webbed feet. Turtles have webbed toes. Some even have flippers. Tortoises have club-shaped feet with separate toes. So a lot of animals that swim and live in the water, they have those webbed toes. That means instead of having space in between all their fingers and all their toes, there's like skin in between all of this. So that helps them push more water while they're swimming. Usually water would be coming in between their fingers or their toes, but since they have skin there, they push a ton of water so they can swim better. So we know that turtles are turtles because they have those webbed toes, just like you see in the picture right here. And tortoises, they have individual toes. Their toes aren't connected by anything. Tortoises are like us, how their toes are all separate. Look at their tails. Monkeys have long, strong tails. Apes have no tails at all. So there are a lot of different kinds of monkeys and apes in the world. They have different shapes and different color fur, but the way to tell them apart, all of them, all monkeys will have a tail. They have strong tails. They can hold themselves up by their tails. But apes have no tail at all. So that's an easy way to tell the difference. Monkeys have long, strong tails, and apes have no tails at all. And that's how we know the difference between monkeys and apes. So those were a lot of animals we talked about that kind of look very similar, right? But we could tell if we look really closely, you can tell if they're the same or if they're different. So that's what we were talking about. Are they the same or are they different? So for our little math game today, our activity for today, it's called Same or Different. So for this, we're going to use a little worksheet I put together on the next slide. You can screenshot this page. I have the instructions for if you have a Windows or a Mac computer, you can screenshot this page and print it out so you can write on it and draw on it. Or you can just use your eyes and your fingers and not actually touch your computer screen, but just hover your finger over your computer screen. And you can connect the animals that look the same. So on this worksheet, you have to use your eyes and look really closely to see, which animals match which animals. So you're trying to match an animal from the left side to an animal that looks the same on the right side. So we did one for you where this little brown bird, I found the same matching brown bird on the other side. So try to find where is the matching squirrel. Go ahead and draw the line on it with your finger. Point to the matching squirrel on the other side. Where's the matching squirrel? You can pause the video here. If you can't screenshot it to print it out, pause the video here and do the same thing. Work through this whole worksheet and match which animals look like which animals, which ones are the same. So we are matching these animals based on what they look like. They might be different sizes. They might be facing a different direction. That's okay. Just see which animals do you think, using those strong looking eyes, which animals are the same and which animals are different. So pause the video here and work on that, or you can screenshot this page and print it out to be able to draw on it as well. That's totally up to you. As always, I have some practice at home activities for us. So things you can do if you're bored at home and you're thinking about math and want to get some practice in. Here are some ways to do that. So for practicing with numbers and counting, you can write the numbers on 10 pieces of paper. Write one number on each piece of paper. And then put those pieces of paper into a hat or into a bag, just into a container. And have the child, your student, pick out a piece of paper and try to read the number. So this will help with reading the numbers, with thinking about what the numbers look like. But if that's too hard and they don't know how to read the number yet, instead try drawing different numbers of dots on the piece of paper. So instead of writing the number 1, just draw 1 dot on that paper. Instead of writing the number 7, draw 7 dots on that paper. And do the same activity. Have the student pick out a piece of paper and tell you what number that is that's drawn on the paper. So that's a good little 2-person activity, one you can do over and over again. If you need it a little harder, you can make the numbers even bigger. That's totally up to you. And then another little activity I have for us is a coloring page that I found on one of my teaching websites. And this is about matching as well. So you try to find things that are the same and color them. Color the things that are the same. Color them so they look like each other. So if you see 2 shapes or 2 things that are the same, try to color them the same way so that they still look the same after you've colored them. So this is another page. I have the screenshot instructions here. If you'd like to take a screenshot and print it out, that would be perfect. If you want to take a screenshot and maybe edit it on your computer and you can color it in that way, that's amazing as well. So that's another little matching sorting activity for us. If you want some more math practice activities, check out some of our other episodes. I always have practice at home at the end of each episode, so I would love for you guys to use any of those practice methods whenever you get a chance. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode today. It has been a lot of fun working on this counting and these counting games with you. I will be back teaching math the rest of the week for this kindergarten program, so please tune in for another episode. We'll have more activities, more games, and more read-alouds coming for you. So until I see you again, stay safe, have fun, and practice that math.